I remembered our background music today for the first time in probably a month.
I'm glad you did, because I never do.
I want to find, because I have, like, fully breaking the fourth wall. I pay for an Epidemic Sound membership every month so we can keep our, like, copyright-free music. And, like, I want to go, it's on my list, and it has been for months at this point. But I want to go in and find another track that I really like so we can add it to, so that's, like, our royalty-free background music.
Love it.
But Feeding the Ducks is fine for now. We love it. We love it. We love it. Welcome to a very purple episode of The Cup, the Currently Unnamed Podcast, where we put the tea in reality, and you can always come to us first to quench your thirst. I'm Logan Murphy. Say something gay. Gay. We're drinking crack tea, as we have been recently, because I'm like in and out of water TikTok. I don't know, Lana, have you gotten into the water TikTok realm?
No.
Great, probably for the best. But I am drinking a strawberry and citrus caffeinated beverage this evening. I was happy because I got to include sun-kissed orange flavor packets into this one, and it's phenomenal.
Wonderful.
So, yeah.
Good for you. Sounds delicious.
So,
I am Lana, your resident diva, here to give the tea, spill the tea, and drink the tea, because you know I love me some tea pure. And you know what to do. If you have some tea, hit me up, because I'm here for it. I'm just drinking water, just regular old schmegular water.
I got that
because you have to stay hydrated and, clear skin and all that. But if I was drinking any tea or anything else besides water, I'd be drinking it in my cup mug, where you can get your cup mug right down there. You see the link at lanagscreations.etsy.com. Two more of the cup panelists have purchased their mugs, so you'll be seeing more of us with our mugs on camera, and not just these beautiful mugs, but our mugs.
I'm getting around to it. Bills have been tough.
I understand. Life is life. Life is life.
Life is lifing. Life has been lifing.
Life is lifing. But if you want to be like, me and the other panelists and some of the cool kids, get your cup mugs or hats or anything else at my Etsy shop.
And it goes to support Lana. And if you don't support Lana, get the fuck out.
I mean, look, life is lifing.
Life
Bills
is life.
Bills are hard. So help me, support me in what I'm doing, so I can not be so hard. Okay. But we're not here to talk about me and life and how hard it is. We're here to talk about Big Brother Canada, week 4.
Thankfully, you have someone to podcast with this week, Lana.
I mean, let's just say, I love having Logan here to bounce things off of. It's great. But if I just want to go on a little rant by myself, I didn't mind it by myself. I didn't mind it.
Oh, I watched every minute of that hour and I think 8-minute video. Truthfully, I watched the whole thing. I was doing homework and I was like, let me throw on Lana. And it was great. And I loved every moment.
I mean, I like being able to just say what I wanted to say, and nobody can tell me I was wrong, even if I was completely wrong, which I probably could have been. It's okay. It's all right. But I love having you back with me, Logan. I missed you.
Yeah, we've kind of been missing each other on all of these podcasts recently. Like, if I'm there, you're not, and if you're there, I'm not, and life has been lifing. But we are back together. It is week 4 in the BBCAN house. And it's already jury because of how fucking wild this season has. Okay. Where is my banner? Because it is time for me to go on a rant because I'm so sad I missed last week. And I wasn't planning on it, but I'm so sad that I missed last week talking because this house is just wild. 2 people walk in 1 week. We are at jury in week 4. It is like, I think it literally just hit day 32. And we are already at jury. And that's just testament to how wild and unpredictable this season has been. But thank the Lord above, the demon spawn from Ottawa or wherever the fuck he's from is gone. I never have to think about him again. I'm not going to mention him by name because he doesn't deserve that. And when you come for the queen, you get checked. And that's exactly what happened. That Thursday eviction episode, because I remember when we were, I remember when we were all on social media on like Tuesday of that week, and Big Brother Canada was like, well, there's no more digital dailies this week, and we were all like, well, shit, like what's happening here? Honestly, might have been for the best, because I feel like had they jumped us in midweek and just like cut around the him of it all, I feel like we all would have been like, okay, like even more confused than we already were. So that was a moment for me personally where I was like, you know what, it's fine that we're not getting digital dailies. I don't keep up with them always, if I'm honest. I've watched maybe 2. But I mean, that's just how I am on a normal season. Like I'll pop in and out on feeds sometimes. Like I like watching feeds, but I'm not feeds obsessed. And that's just how I've always been with Big Brother. But yeah, so I don't remember if you talked any about the lack of digital dailies last week, Lana. But
no, because I don't watch them. I'm gonna be honest. I don't watch them because I have a job and I have things to do. So I don't have the time to keep up with the digital dailies. So I had no idea that they stopped showing the digital dailies this past week. That week.
I think it was literally on like Monday or Tuesday of that week. BBCAN tweeted like we're not, for obvious reasons, because everything happened. But
I didn't know, and I just, because I keep up with the digital dailies by watching other people's like podcasts, and
I was gonna say
and things like that. Shout out to the Reality Kingdom and Taryn and RHAP, because that's where I keep up with what's happening on the digital dailies, because I don't have time. First of all, I don't even know where to go watch them, so I don't even have the time to go look for them.
I don't even know. So I watch them with my VPN.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. I honestly don't even know if you could, because I know we've had feeds issues in the past. I will also shout out Mad Rose D. That's who I get most of my digital daily updates from. Have for years. Mentioned them before. Maddie and Janet do such a good job over there of keeping us updated, and God bless them both, because it's been rough this season.
Anybody who can watch and who gets me the updates on that stuff, that I like, shout out to you. Mad props, because I don't know where to go watch them. I don't have time to go watch them, even if I knew where to go watch them. I barely get the chance to watch the episodes, because literally I watch all the episodes on one day, and that's on my off day. And so it's like I have to cram all this information in on one day. So I don't have time to do that, but shout out to everybody who does. And so, like I said, I didn't know that got cut out. Yeah. But I did mention in the last week about, like I said, we're not going to talk about it or him, because quitters don't deserve to be talked about, I feel. And this is the thing. Amal and Vanessa. They both left for personal and medical reasons.
Correct.
It wasn't because they decided they didn't want to be in the game anymore. Correct. It was issues that they had in their real life that pulled them from the game.
Yeah.
This person just decided, since they didn't get their way, they were going to take their ball and go home like a petulant child. I said it last week in my review, and I will say it again. That man is a child.
Mm-hmm.
He's a man child. And you don't get to decide how a show is going to run their show. You don't get to decide the rules of a show that you don't control. It's thousands of people who would have loved to be in your position, who auditioned for this show, who would have loved to be on this show. And you take that opportunity and get mad because things didn't go your way. Boo hoo hoo. And you cry and you take your ball and go home. That's very juvenile. That's very toddler-ish. That's very baby, if you will. So that person does not deserve to be talked about, does not deserve to be mentioned. I'll talk about Amal and Vanessa because things happened with them that was beyond their control.
And I do want to give us I love, and I've interacted a little bit with Amal on Twitter, and she's been nothing but lovely.
She's lovely. She's lovely.
The minute I found out she was a huge Drag Race fan, I was like, yes, period. I love it. And I've interacted a bit with Vanessa as well. Sending all of my love to both of them. I loved seeing Vanessa in the house. I really did. She blew up the game, and I loved seeing it. She was a player that I do wish we had seen more of, but obviously life gets in the way. So nothing but love and light for both of them. The other one, blech. But what him leaving did mean that our good friend Daniel C officially makes jury. And I'm thrilled. I'm truly thrilled. I know that was like his big probably benchmark. Obviously, he wants to win. He's there to win. Of course he wants. And we'll talk about him.
First, I feel like everybody's first goal, like you go into a game like this with goals, and I think making jury is everybody's first goal. Nobody wants to be pre-jury. So the fact that he made jury first goal, check it off. Good for you, my guy. I'm here, loving it.
Yeah,
I'm here for it. Now, let's go to part 2 of this game, and you go win this thing. Period. As you all know, if you've watched this before, we are still a Dan C stand on this. We stand Dan C in this house. We will forever stand Dan C in this house, even if we don't agree with the moves he make in this house, and we might be like, "Ooh, what?" But he is still and will forever be a stand on the Cup podcast talking about BBCAN. Period. Don't get it twisted. I said what I said last week. And I meant what I said. I don't understand his moves, but that's not my game. Dan C is playing Dan C's game. He is not playing Lana's game. So I might not understand it. I might not even like some of the moves, but that don't mean I don't stand him. Period. Bottom line.
Yeah, that's our friend. At the end of the day, that's our real life. Well, not real life, but as close to real life as we possibly can be.
Yeah.
Friend. Like that's like he is our person in a very similar way to how if you're watching our Survivor 44 coverage, Carolyn in a lot of ways is very much our person as well. She comes from our community, and so truthfully, anytime there's someone from our community in something like this, which there have been a lot of them recently, and it makes me really happy. I want to do nothing but root for them, and I've seen them like play these online games that we do, and seeing them do it in real life, and I know that every day he's in there, he's literally living his dreams. So I'm thrilled in that regard. We'll talk about some of his moves this week, especially as well, because I was confused.
And before we go, and it's somebody in an upcoming reality show who will also is from our community as org players and things. which we will talk about because we always talk about this show on the Cup podcast. You might not know him. I know him.
I'm not aware of this. I may know this person, but I'm not aware.
Yeah, somebody who I know for sure, or watched play. I haven't played with him, but I've watched him play. In a very recent, is going to be on the upcoming season of The Amazing Race. So,
you need to DM me right now with this information because I need to know.
I mean, I don't know if you know this person because they're from the long world that I just started, but we'll see. I'll tell you. We'll talk about that.
Work anyway.
But it was
that's
just
exciting though. Yay! Okay,
it's just exciting that people who we know and who we've seen play in these online games are doing big things and getting onto these big shows, which we love. And so it just makes me happy that we get to talk about them. And Dan C is somebody who we love and we've played with and we've watched play. And now we get to talk about him, something huge like this. And we'll continue talking about it because this week was a very good week for Dan C as far as
Yeah.
So
I was going to say, if we're going to give someone like player of the week, maybe it might be Dan. Honestly,
it could be Santina and Dan. I think between those two, they will be the players of the week.
Sure.
Honestly.
Yeah. Do we want to do a?
Let's talk about. So this is Who Done It Week.
Yeah.
This is Who Done It Week. It's Who Done It Week, and that means the HOH and the veto. I went anonymously. We don't know. Yeah. They don't know. Well, we know, but they don't know who is HOH. And how they had to do this HOH was Big Brother Canada was going to offer them $50,000 extra in the prize pot to make it $150,000 for their prize, which I'm like, that ain't no little money to sneeze on. That's kind of hot. But what they also had to go into this room and write down an amount of money.
Wasn't it the living room?
I guess it was the living room. Yeah, because they went outside.
Yeah, because they were all in the backyard. Yeah, so I think they just moved the couches out of the living room. Because I remember when they came back in, I think it was Renee was like, "This is out of place." To one of the couches.
Yeah, everything was just moved, and it was. Yeah. But so they had to go into and write down an amount of how much money they were willing to give up initially for HOH. Out of the $50,000, you can go the whole $50,000 or whatever amount you wanted to do. And so whatever you decide, that money will be taken. Whoever wins, if that person wins, that money is taken out of that pot. So whatever. I mean, you asked me to decide between $50,000. I'm like, look, I came in here only hoping to win $100,000.
Right.
So that $50,000 is just nice, but I ain't tripping. If it ain't there, it ain't there. I wasn't expecting it no way. I would always risk $50,000.
100%. Always gonna do, especially because I feel like if this was a regular HOH, maybe I wouldn't. But the fact that this is an invisible, or what was it, invincible, as Hope was saying.
As Hope says.
God, I love Hope.
He wasn't wrong.
No, but God, I love Hope. But because it's an invisible HOH, of course, I'm betting the whole $50K. And I did love that Big Brother Canada kind of factored in for that because they're like, here's this tiebreaker.
They knew.
Yeah. So the tiebreaker was, what do you think the average bet will be out of everybody who bet? What's the average? And so the person closest to the average will win the tiebreaker, will break the tie and win HOH.
Mm-hmm.
So we know that we saw Daniel. Daniel was the first one to do it. And Oh, not that. It happens sometimes. Anyway, so we see Daniel go, and he, I think, bets like 25,000, which, like, sure, whatever. Renee goes, she bets like 24,000 or something. I don't remember the exact amount. We see people just like cycling through and going along. And then we get Kuzi announces the results, and we find out that the winning bid was, to nobody's surprise whatsoever, $50,000, and that several people bet $50,000. I don't think we ever got an explanation of exactly who, or if we did, I missed it.
Yeah, Santina.
Yeah.
Dan, Ty, Anika.
Mm-hmm. And Shania?
No, Shania didn't.
Claudia Renee didn't.
No, Claudia, Renee, Shania, and Dan. They didn't. They were the only four that didn't. Everybody else did.
Work. So then we find out that we don't find out the average amount. We find out the winning bid was what, 49,099 cents.
Yep.
Which means that Santina is our invisible HOH, her second HOH.
Which is hilarious because Ty said 49,098 cents.
Gag.
Crazy.
Truly. I mean, you know, when I saw that Santina won, I was concerned.
Oh,
we saw how her first HOH went, and honestly, upon reflection, it's probably best that John Michael left earlier rather than later, given what we have heard him say now. But all in all, Santina did the damn thing this week. I was thrilled.
I got very... I was nervous. I was nervous when it was announced with Santina because I was like, oh, Lord. We saw she was upset with Kuzi because Kuzi put her up, blah, blah, blah. I was hoping that Santina would also see that she was never the initial plan if they could get Zach. Oh, I said the name. I'm sorry. If they could get him, then that was the shot that Kuzi wanted to take. Yeah. And I think once that happened, the way it happened, Santina understood and realized, like, okay, she was telling me the truth. It really, even though she was the backup plan. But...
Even though Kuzi was 100% lying to her face the entire time. It worked out. It could not have worked out better for Kuzi in this scenario.
Exactly.
But yeah, so we see everyone's kind of speculating on who it is, and there's a lot more speculation in the Wednesday episode of the week. So I'm going to save the conversation about the speculation for there, because once noms happen, everything blows up. But we see Santina kind of. This was an interesting moment. We see Santina and Jonathan in the pink bedroom or whatever it is.
Whatever bedroom. I think it was the pink one. Yeah.
I think the pink one. And Santina is like subtly but not directly telling Jonathan, oh, you're good this week. And I love that Jonathan, she's like, you're not going on the block. And he goes, I'm going on the block? So I don't remember. I was like, where were we? Yes, Santina telling Jonathan he's safe without telling her she's the HOH. And he goes, I love this man. I love this man. Oh, I love him.
I thought that was such a good moment. It was so cute.
But yeah, so then the rest of the episode is kind of just like, who is it? It's not me. It's not you. And Santina does such a good job of hiding. that it's her.
It was so okay. It was so good, but it was so good for, I guess, for them because nobody figured it out.
Yeah.
For me watching, I was like, she would have been my number one suspect because she was acting so like, oh my God, I'm so dumb. Oh my God. I would have been like, girl.
Well, I think as well, I think what kind of hit it a little bit better for her is that she was actively part of like the group of people that were trying to suss out who it was. So her playing like an active role in that, it's like, oh, like in most scenarios, the HOH wouldn't like be a part of that necessarily. They would kind of be like maybe trying to lay low a little bit more, like stuff like that. So I think in that regard, it kind of works out for Santina. But yeah, I don't. That whole rest of the episode is kind of just like, who is it? Who knows? And then noms happen. And it is this creepy robot man. I hope to never see him again. I hated that.
It gave me some very
vibes.
And I was like, oh, got it.
But at least Big Brother Canada had budget, unlike certain other things. Because I've heard that robot voice used in several other cases since that one thing that we both did at one point in the future, not in the future, in the past. Regardless, Dan and Ty are on the block.
Yeah,
Dan and Ty are on the block. I'm thrilled. Dan and Ty are on the block. One of them is guaranteed to go home.
Oh, I mean, that's perfectly fine with me.
Thrilled.
For a Dan S or Ty to go home at this point.
Yeah. So this brings us to Wednesday's episode where everyone's like, who's the HOH? I don't know who the HOH is. Do you know who the HOH is? Are you the HOH?
This is where things even got crazy, even as the nomination ceremony, because our Santina decides that she's going to continue to take that target off of her and put that on somebody else. She's going to make sure nobody thinks she's the HOH by any means necessary. Well, she walks over to Renee, who people already suspect is the HOH due to Dan and Ty being the nominees. And she's like, shoot your shot, girl.
This is the moment where I was like, you know what, Santina? We might be standing.
I might have a temporary stand card for her.
It is if a stand card is like a green card, this is like a yellow. I'm hesitant.
I have a trial run card, stand card for Santina.
It's a 3-day trial pass.
3 to 7 day pass. And I'm like, okay, let me see, girl, before I commit to buying a permanent one. Let me test this out. So
we gotta see how things go when she's not in power.
Yeah.
Let's see that.
But
yeah, Renee becomes the primary suspect, and she goes, I'm pissed. She's pissed, Lana.
I mean, she's pissed.
Did she mention that she's pissed?
Capital pissed.
And okay, Renee, I've been kind of back and forth on, I'm gonna be honest, but then in the DR, she goes, I need to go unpiss myself. And honestly, I was like, no, I love it. Like she is providing entertainment, and that's what I hoped she would do.
She is. I don't know. Me and her aren't on the same. Like, I'm not gelling with Renee. Like, I wanted to gel with Renee. I feel like Renee is a caricature of what she. I don't know. Like,
I see that.
It's something about her that I'm just like, girl, I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
But it is what it is. But okay, go ahead.
She's pissed,
She's pissed
Lana.
though. She's pissed
She's
though.
pissed. We get the veto player pick. So we find out that the secret HOH, Santina, had drawn Hope to play in the POV. DJ Dan was playing, and he pulled Daniel. Dan pulling Dan, I love it. And Ty pulls house guest choice and picks Claudia.
No surprise.
No surprise there, as they've been this bland manse, as I'm calling it. It's just
Mayo
it's bad.
manse.
It's bad.
It's a mayo manse. It's so boring and so off-putting and so gross. Like, there's no seasoning in this this bland manse. She's okay. I don't really dislike Claudia. I don't dislike Claudia.
I agree.
Let me put that out there. I don't dislike Claudia. I'm not. At first, I was a fan of Ty. I'm very disappointed in Ty, not because he's in this romance, this bland man's with Claudia. It really has everything to do with his behavior, the way he acts, the way he talks to people, the way he treats people, his grandiose like attitude, like he is running everything when clearly he's not. But I just don't like him, and that whole him with that other guy thing, that trip that they tried to pull, and then him punking out. Like, I would have rather him just left too, instead of going in there and talking all that grand talk only to punk out. We knew you was gonna punk out. You always punk out. You all talk. You all bark. No bite at all. So I don't dislike Claudia. I don't like Ty, and Claudia is. I am not. I wasn't feeling her because of her association with him. And as long as she's associated with him, and as long as she keeps playing up under him, she's going to get the side eye from me. I don't particularly care. And then this next week that we're in right now, definitely side eyeing her. But I don't dislike her. I'm just like your associations, and you know it. And you know he's not somebody you need to be up under, and you know he's going to be horrible for your game, but yet and still you still continue to be up under him because you act like you need a man to be up under in order to play this game, and that is disgusting. I am sick and tired of women feeling like they need to shield themselves with a man in order to get far in this game, when you can just play the dang game and be powerful all in yourself. Like, you can, like, she keeps acting like, oh, I know Ty is has to go in the long run, but you sure ain't playing like you know that, and you sure not, like, even in your diary room sessions, you not acting like you know that. Like, there's no way I'm getting on Big Brother and playing up the showman's thing. Like, I just want to have the showman. If that's not what I want to do, if I'm like, oh no, he's not good, I can let him go just like that. In my diary room sessions, people will know that. People will know that. Like, don't get it twisted, y'all. Please believe this is all me furthering my game, and this man is gone the second I can get him out. And you up in here crying over this man when he playing games, talking about he want to leave. Negro, please, bye. You can go. No. I'm not crying over no man on no national TV. Who I just met 2 weeks ago.
I was gonna say literally a month ago.
You ain't met this man. You don't know this man. And you up here crying, I can't believe he's gonna leave. Bye. Yeah. Bye. I'd be like, I don't want you to go for the sake of this game. I really enjoy having you here for the game, but if you go,
yeah,
hit me up when I get out. Hopefully I'll be $100,000 richer.
Exactly. I think Claudia the person is fine.
Sure.
I have no issues with her as a person.
Sure.
As a game player, honestly, I think she is my least favorite game player.
And she's so boring, and she's bland, and she's like weak in the knees. Like, stand up, girl, stand up. Like this. Well, we'll talk about it later because I did have a little hope for her this week. Smidgen of hope, but
just a smidge. A smidge.
But yeah.
Let's talk about the veto comp. Yes. So I think for the first time this season, the veto was not sponsored, which I loved.
I appreciate that.
I don't mind a sponsor. I will say the Brita sponsored veto that Hope won, I really liked that comp.
I enjoyed that. You know what? See, this is the thing. I don't mind sponsored vetoes, especially if they're going to give out prizes to the people to win the vetoes. Like, I wish this was a sponsored veto because of the winner of the veto, because I want that person to get some money. And so I don't mind the sponsored vetoes. Like, don't start sponsoring everything. Don't sponsor HOHs and then sponsor. Like, sponsored vetoes are okay because I feel like this is something, the veto is only good for the person who is on the block. And if I'm not on the block and I'm playing, what am I playing for? You know, just to say I won the veto. It'd be great if they had, something to win for. And so the money that they get to win all these vetoes, if they're not on the block, it's a good thing. It's good.
Yeah.
So I don't mind it. But this veto was actually kind of cool, and I loved it.
This is my favorite comp that I've seen in a long time, honestly.
Yeah, I really like this comp a lot.
Yeah. So it's called Power Heist. Mm-hmm. So you start in an individual like cell, and you have to figure out how to power down the lasers. There's like a vault lock situation, and then you have to make a pole. It felt very Survivor.
Yeah, it was like
in a way that pole challenge where you have to grab the key and then unlock the thing. Like, it felt very that.
Yeah.
Is Trevor Boris still doing BBCAN? Trevor Boris, is he still the comp master for BBCAN? I don't know. I know he used to be. Know yeah, go ahead.
That it gave me, like you said, the Survivor, but you know, the Big Brother one they did in All Stars where Janelle and they had to go through the rooms and through the lasers and
I do remember that. Yeah, I did like that
one. And then on the Mole, I don't know if you watched the Mole, but they did something like that on the Mole. Oh no, it wasn't the Mole. It was Traders.
Traders.
When they did that whole going through, and I like those kind of things. I would be horrible at that with going through the lasers because I'm not flexible. But I thought this was a cool twist, like you said, the poles, but it gave them that escape room vibe, like feel like you had to figure out how to get out of this thing. They didn't give you any clues. They didn't tell you what to do. They just said you got to get out and knock this bag off this the button to disable the lasers. I thought it was a really cool veto. Like, I would have loved to like play around with that, even though I'm not good at like the whole figure. Oh, but you also had to go, once you got out of this thing, then you had to either find a key to open up this thing to get a weight to kind of figure out how heavy something has to be 13 pounds, I think it was, or they all had different ones. But you have to put 500 pounds of these bags and like gold coins and bars and all this stuff to weigh 500 pounds on this scale.
Or as close to 500
or
pounds.
Or as close to 500 as you could possibly get without going over.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so the person that has the closest to that wins the challenge. It
was so cool. I have to say it again. It was such a cool thing. So Dan C, I'm going to talk about him first because he was like the first person to figure out.
Slayage. I'm going to just say it.
Yeah. First person to figure out what you got to do to get out of this thing. Everybody else is like, because it's like they're in a safe. And so they had everything like a safe with the bars and the wheel and all the things that came out the walls and all this stuff to like fool people. Like, how do we do this?
It felt very BBCAN 10 in a way. Like it felt very like themed. Like maybe this was a comp they had planned to do last year and they didn't get around to it. Like
maybe.
It felt very. I love this comp. I
I
really
love this comp. I think this is one of my favorite comps I've seen on any Big Brother. Like I think this is one of my favorite ones because I like those. Like I did like the one in 22 with when they did that going through the lasers, and I thought that was a really good comp. And also I like when they do like in I can't remember what season, but when they had to go into those small rooms, there was a bunch of stuff, and they get penalized for knocking things over. I think it was 23 where they had like cans. It was like a party rave or rager, and they had to.
Yes, that was. Oh Jesus. That was 23.
That was 23.
Yeah, because it was that whatever the stupid twist comp. It was the team, whatever. One person from each team gets picked, and then they play the comp. That was the comp.
Right.
I don't remember what the twist was called, but
I can't remember. But I just remember them going.
That came from somewhere in my memory. I don't know where.
I remember it was 23, and I was like, I knew it was that, and they had to walk into the small room and try not to knock over so much stuff and make so much noise or whatever. But yeah, so I thought those were cool. Anyway, so Dancy figured out that you had to take the poles and unscrew the poles from the wheel of the safe, put it together to knock the bag off. And literally he did it first, and I think Dan S saw or heard him like putting together poles or whatever.
Yeah.
And so then he did it, and then Claudia did it, Ty did it, and then Hope.
Poor Hope
came around. He was just like, I don't know what to do. He was just spinning that thing around.
Hope didn't get it until the last 5 minutes of the comp.
Oh no, that's not true.
Oh.
No, Hope got it pretty cool. He got it after. He was the last person to get out of his pod.
Oh.
He figured it out once he saw what everybody else was doing. He was like, oh, okay. So he did that.
Yeah.
So everybody was looking for the key first, trying to find the key. He couldn't. Everybody found the key pretty first. Ty could not find the key.
No.
He was the person who waited to the last 5 minutes.
Oh, yeah.
And he just was like, I don't know. And I don't know why he didn't start putting it on sooner than that. But I was
because you didn't need to, because the keys only like unlocked the like reference weights, right?
Right. You could have been putting stuff on the table and just trying and figuring it out. I would at least wait when it got to the 15-minute mark, I'm like, oh, let me start putting this stuff on this table.
I mean, he still did good. All things considered, like Ty still did good in the comp.
I mean, I don't know what his final thing was.
He came in third. I have the scores up. I'll bring it up. But yeah, so we get the scores. Obviously, it is a secret veto, so you get that like I just remember the flashing light thing, like when Spicy V won the Invisible HOH on 10, and it lit up, and we get a green light lighting up the winner of the veto, Dancy. Oh, my baby, what a comp. I'm so happy. And I'm going to revel in being happy for him because I don't agree with the decision he makes later, but I'm so happy that he won.
I'm very happy.
So Daniel wins with 490 pounds.
Oh, I thought it was 93. 90 pounds. Woo.
490. Second place, kind of a gag, Miss Claudia with 463.
She was doing so good when she was like, I know I can just figure this out. And
I think if she sticks around, I think she's someone that could potentially start winning comps when it matters.
Mm-hmm.
And we could see her maybe getting like a winning out situation. I don't know. Like I'd be intrigued to see it. Let's just say that. Ty comes in third with 418.8 pounds. DJ Dan comes in fourth with 401.6. And God love Hope, he ended with 280.
Wow.
And it's really interesting. There was a fun fact. So the Spanish language celebrity version of Big Brother, I think in Mexico, called La Casa de los Famosos, ran a nearly identical competition to Power Heist on the same day that this comp aired.
Oh, wow.
Like a true coincidence, but I kind of love that. Just as a little fun fact situation. So our good sis Daniel wins. And he said before the veto that if he won the veto, he was going to take down Ty. And while I don't personally agree with this move, I can understand it from Daniel's perspective. I see it. I mean, Daniel was very close with Zach, and then by proxy, very close to Ty. And there are not that many big physical threats left in the game at this point, honestly. And the other
he's
two
not aligned with, that he's not
I was going to say, because this is also where we get, finally, we get a mention of The Crown, which is the first named alliance of the season, I think.
I think.
Because the boys, it was the early like boys and Santina alliance, I don't think had a name. But so we have The Crown, which consists of Daniel C, Anika, Kuzi, Jonathan, and Hope. I like this. I like this alliance.
I love this. I was a fan of this. Yeah. I was like, yes, Crown, period. I'm here for the Crown. It's
absolutely.
It's such a great group and a great alliance that I'm like, I'm here for it. And then it's a great name because like that's the name that I would have wanted to say if I was there. I would want to be part of the Crown Alliance. So
I would want to do, if I was on Big Brother, I would want to do something to like reference past Big Brother, I think. Just because I'm that much of a super fan. I feel like I would want to attempt to reference something along the lines of icon, legend, and my birthday twin, Davon Rogers. Like, if there was a way for me to incorporate Pretends to be Shocked as an alliance name, like, that would be my favorite thing in the whole world.
I would want to be like Point Blank the period and the period.
Well, I love Point Blank period.
Point Blank and the period.
That honestly, okay. Well, when I get on Big Brother, I don't know, 30, 31. I wouldn't get on 30. I'd get on 31. But I love that. I do.
Even
love
though I would love it, but I wouldn't do it because I don't want nobody to be like, oh, she knows this game. She's just super fan. I'm like,
but by that point, like, I mean, Davon is very influential in the Big Brother meta of it all, but I don't think.
I mean, but I would just say something like, oh no, I saw her on The Challenge. That was my first taste of her on The Challenge.
Yeah.
Like I heard she was on Big Brother, but then I didn't really watch Big Brother when she was on it. So
I'm a Challenge super fan.
And I became a fan of hers on The Challenge because I'm a Challenge super fan.
I could play that off because that was back in the era where I did watch The Challenge religiously. Like my last season that I remember watching full out was War of the Worlds 2. So like
Yeah.
I could be like, no, I remember her. I thought she was iconic. Never saw her on Big Brother, but love her.
Love her. Yeah, Point Blank and the period. But
So we know that. So the Crown pretty much gets brought up because then Daniel goes to the Crown and is kind of like, well, what do we want to do? And on several occasions, Daniel is like, if y'all don't want me to use it, then I won't use it. And so we see Daniel immediately after the veto goes straight to Anika and Kuzi and is like, I won. And then Jonathan tells them that Santina's
Santina's.
the HOH.
Mm-hmm.
And I think this is a really smart time
Mm-hmm.
for Jonathan to disclose that information.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
Because then at that point, Daniel tells the rest of the crown he won the veto. They're all kind of trying to decide what to do with the veto.
Yeah, and then he tells the crown that he wants to use it on Ty, which then Hope and Jonathan is like, no. Hope is like, F no. Like,
yeah, literally.
no. He was like, because we need to let him go. He needs to go. Mm-hmm. If he stays, that's not good for us. No. And Dan is like, but I mean, I could use it for work with us and I can use it. And knowing what we know now, mm-hmm. Hope and Jonathan was absolutely 100% correct when they said they should have just let Ty go. But
yeah,
we'll talk about that.
Breaking the fourth wall, we're filming this on Tuesday of week 5.
Yeah.
So we know the HOH, the POV, the noms, the final noms. We pretty much know who's going home. We might mention it at the end. I don't know if we're going to, but we might.
But anyway,
or we'll save it for our next episode. But we got invisible creepy robot man mm-hmm. is back and lets everybody know that the secret veto winner did decide to use the power of veto on Ty.
Well, we have to tell why and how this came about because Daniel C had a conversation with Ty.
Yeah.
And Kuzi and Dan was going to get Ty to go meet Dan in the library.
Yeah.
And they talk and he's like, look, if by chance something happens, I want to make sure we're on the same page. You know, who would you be going after? Mm-hmm. Who's your target? And he was like, Ty was like, Renee will be my target. And he was like, good, mine too. So I won the veto and I plan on using you. And Ty's like, he's like, but you watch out for me, have my back. And, you know, if you have my back, I'll have your back, yada, yada, yada. And Ty was like, oh, for sure, most definitely, we can make it solid. You know, I'm down for that, yada, yada, yada. And so Dan went on with the plan to take down Ty, use it on Ty. And so the HOH had to make a new nom, and she did. And she put up Claudia in the place of Ty. And Ty knew that was going to happen because Dan told him that was going to happen.
Yeah. The next best option, mm-hmm. in my personal opinion. I was not mm-hmm. mad at seeing Claudia on the block. Yeah. So
here's where my smidge of hope for Claudia has come into play.
Yeah.
Well, after that she's nominated, that Thursday's episode, let's jump into Thursday's episode because Thursday's episode had Dan and Claudia both fighting for their lives and fighting that they both did. I was actually very impressed with how both of them started to campaign for their lives in this game. And it was interesting. It was interesting because they both had they knew they had to get the same people. Like they knew that the people who they wanted probably would, like Dan knew Ty was going to vote for Claudia. He knew Shania was probably gonna vote for Claudia, but he was hoping he could, you know, swing her in his direction. So he also needed to talk to Kuzi and Anika and Dan, but he knew he felt like Kuzi was the one who could influence the rest. So he was going to start with Kuzi, and he had his conversation with Kuzi, and he was like, look, keeping me, I will go after Ty.
Yeah.
I have your back. I will go after Ty. That's my target. And you won't have to worry about it. Me coming for you. and I will be a threat, a physical threat that could be a shield for you, and
Yeah.
we'll go after targets that you would like. And if you can just spread the word, tell the folks, da da da. Claudia was like, look, she went to Kuzi. This is her conversation with Kuzi now. This is the conversation. She said, look, I know people see me and Ty as a duo and feels like I'm under Ty or whatever, but I'm playing a separate game from Ty. Ty is not me. I am not Ty. I know Ty has to go at some point. I'm just, you know, I don't want you to think that if it ever came down to me picking Ty over this girls' alliance, that I would pick him. I will never pick a man over the girls' alliance. And I was like, huh, interesting.
I don't know necessarily that I believe that.
I
I
don't.
think I think she would pick Ty over
Kuzi and Anika.
Anika,
Mhm.
Anika, Kuzi, and Daniel C.
Oh, for sure. Oh,
But
for
I
sure.
I
Most
don't
definitely.
know if she would pick Ty over Renee and Shania.
I think she wouldn't pick Ty over Shania.
Yeah. I would like to, I think it's a little bit more gray area between Renee and Ty for who
Hmm.
Claudia would want to keep. I don't know, but
Yeah, but I think Shania, she would not pick Ty over Shania.
yeah,
But I do think everybody else, she would pick Ty over. Like this
yeah.
girls' alliance, these girly pops,
Mhm.
hmm, they have been separating themselves from Kuzi and Anika from the very beginning, and I didn't like that because when Kuzi was HOH, they were like, "This girls' alliance has to be strong and stick together," and yada blah blah blah. But they was excluding now Kuzi and Anika from their little girly pop group, and I'm like, okay, not a fan, but whatever. See, I see you. I see how y'all rolling, but okay.
Yeah. We also need to bring up the fight because we pretty much like start the episode with this Ty versus Santina fight where Ty is just like, yeah, no, you're the secret HOH. And he's correct.
Mhm.
But it blows up into this big like house situation. Dan gets involved, DJ Dan gets involved, Anika gets involved at one point, and my favorite moment of the week, Lana, my
Mine
favorite,
too. It has to be mine too.
because you see everybody's fighting and yelling. There's balcony yelling, there's hot tub yelling, everybody's yelling, and Kuzi
Kuzi.
is just in the pantry dancing around with that HelloFresh logo in the background, like, it's a fight,
Right.
it's a
It's
fight,
right. It's a
it's
right. I
a fight.
love it. It's a right.
I'm just, that is mother. Truly, genuinely, and honestly, that is mother. I
Mother.
love Kuzi so much. She is definitely my like number two who I want to see win behind Daniel, but honestly, it's very close.
Hold on. I think Daniel and Kuzi are equal in my eyes right now. I can't even
Sure.
lie. I can't even front. I love Dan. I love Dan. And if he wins, I'm ecstatic. But if Kuzi wins, I am just as ecstatic. I am a Kuzi stand. That card will never decline. She will never have a temporary stand card for me. It is purely permanent. It is laminated, my guy. It is
And that
laminated.
and that started during the cast
Yes.
assessment. Like,
Yes. It just got stronger and like I put an extra coat of laminate on it just to make sure
uh-huh.
it don't get destroyed. She is everything. I am so glad that regardless of whatever happens, she made it to jury
Yeah.
because I just need more Kuzi all the time on my screen. so I can enjoy her. Like, who does, like, I would be that. That would be me. Like, I'm not gonna get in the fight if I ain't got to be in the fight, but I'm gonna love being nosy and he in the fight. Like, it's a fight. It's fight. Say fighting. The girlies are
Fight.
fighting.
The girlies are fighting. That would be you and I in the Big Brother house, just like everyone around us, and we're just like, the girlies are fighting.
As long as I'm not in it, baby, I am entertained. I will be Taylor Hale with my Lay's chips, just crunch,
Oh,
crunch, crunching away.
I was gonna say Mistress Isabel Brooks and Lux Noir London just going like that would fully be us. Oh, I would love it. But
oh my gosh.
It's just, and then Ty goes at one point during the fight goes, I'm not here to start drama. And I'm just like, where?
You start this drama.
You literally started this drama, sir. This drama literally is because of you.
Period. Dan is like, I suspect you. I'm looking at you. And he's like, didn't you tell Renee to say Renee's name? He said, she said all of us are suspects. Everybody should be a suspect. Everybody, and she's not wrong. If you just go accuse one person, you gotta accuse everybody who did it. Everybody did it, and everybody think and she's like, it could be anybody. And Renee's like, and she's like, she said Anika, and Anika's like, what? Excuse me? Hold on.
Anika said, hold on.
My name. You throwing me out there? I don't understand.
I want to say, loving Anika. Loving Anika. Like,
my card is definitely there for Anika.
And we were worried. Mm-hmm. I remember we were worried.
Because she was it was just obvious she was a recruit. And it was like, I don't know.
She's someone I want to keep my eye on for the rest of the game because I honestly think we could see a like Paris level slayage at the end of this game from her. You watched BBCAN 6, right?
Mm-mm.
Oh, you didn't?
Yeah, but I know who Paris is.
So Paris, she's very much in a similar situation to what Paris was, honestly. Mm-hmm. Kind of like has a solid group, kind of towards the bottom for the bulk of the game. Paris won the final 4 HOH, and it propelled her to final 2, and she won. Mm-hmm. And I think we could see something very similar from Anika. She even said, what was it, during the croquet HOH comp, I think it was, that Kuzi won. She was like, I can tell that I'm getting better with comps too. And I was like, I'm so glad. Because I like her.
Yeah, I like her. And I like the fact that she is a recruit, that she is learning the game as she goes. And I like seeing that journey. I love, because her first week, she was very quiet, very, still trying to figure out her legs in this game and her place and who she could really trust. And, she's giving me like, not in the same way, but like, how Joseph was the alternate and he had no idea how to play the game, but you watched him every week get better at navigate. Like the first 2 weeks, he was very off his game, still trying to figure out people, still trying to observe and see. But when he came down to week 3 and he was like very mastermindedly put the leftovers together.
Yeah.
And because he saw who he wanted to work with and was like, this person, let's bring all these people together. That's what she's doing for me. Like, she's like, she was wobbly the first couple weeks trying to figure out, who she could trust, what she wanted to do, how she wanted to play this game. And then now she's coming into her own. She's speaking up more for herself. Like, when she was going off with Kuzi to that man, I was like, yes, Anika girl, don't let him have it. Let him have it. And she is not afraid to be like, wait, you saying my name? Who? Excuse me? What? I love it. I'm here for it. And I'm very happy to see her progress this way.
She reminds me of somebody else. I don't know how far back your Big Brother Canada knowledge is, Lana. She reminds me a lot of John Party from season 2. Mm-hmm. John came in and did not know the game, but latched onto someone who did.
Mm-hmm.
And I could see Anika pulling a similar move at the end where if it's Anika Kuzi and someone else, I could see Anika going, this is my game-winning move. Love you, Kuzi, but I'm here to win $100,000 and all the other prizes. I really could see. And honestly, I wouldn't be mad.
I would, but okay.
I would, but I wouldn't, if that makes sense. Like,
Right.
I would be like, bitch, you did that.
But you
like,
didn't have to do that.
Well, okay, let's be real. Right now, in this scenario, if it's Anika Kuzi in the final two, Kuzi wins, which I love. But if I'm thinking as Anika, I think she really needs to start thinking about what is her end game going to look like. Because as of right now, within her trio, she has the weakest game. And so I really think she's someone where if she makes it far with Dan and with Kuzi, she really needs to start thinking about what she needs to do to separate her gameplay from the both of them.
Oh, almost definitely.
I would be mad if she cut Kuzi at final three. Let me make that very clear. But I would be like, bitch, you did that though. And if she wins, you did that. Like you did.
You did it, but you ate. But dang, you ate.
You ate, but I'm dying inside.
Right, I am dying inside, but you ate, girl. I get it. I get it. Game recognized game, but it was
absolutely.
But yeah, she definitely does because she does not want to be. She doesn't want to get macked from Australia. She does not want because that is. You play a strong game, but you play under somebody the entire game. Your game is never going to be recognized. You have to step out and make your own moves. That's just strictly you. So yeah, true. I understand it. Yeah, but we could. I'm definitely looking at her and just watching her game, enjoying watching her growth and her journey. So we'll see. But so. Everybody's looking at Santina, mad at Santina, and Santina is like shifting the throne again still. Like she said she was going to lie to the end of time, which I don't blame her. Deny. And they can be mad after the game is over, whatever. But she was doing a really good job. It's still like keeping it squarely on her and still putting accusations like it could be Jonathan, it could be Anika, it could be Renee. We all are people who it could be.
The only two people the only people it literally can't be
is Hope and Kuzi.
Hope and Kuzi, and then now also Dan and Claudia.
Right.
Well, I mean,
it could be because you could have nominated themselves just to throw people off game.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a risk, a stupid risk, but
that's a stupid move, but you could have.
Stupid risk, but you could have, but could have been any of them. So
So we got, so we talked about the campaigning. You said earlier, Claudia and Dan kind of did, they both did about equal. I kind of disagree. I think a lot of it.
They did equal. I said they both campaigned their butt off.
I would disagree with that. And I think the only reason why is because I tuned in a little bit to the digital dailies where Claudia was kind of just going around on the edit on the show. They both looked a lot better than I think it actually happened. Because if I remember correctly, Claudia was kind of just like, well, I'm not a threat. And Dan was kind of like, I'm going to go after Ty, but wasn't really giving anything else. So I think both of their campaigning could have been better.
I mean, I'm just saying from the edit of the show, they both campaigned. They both were fighting for their lives. I don't know if their campaigns were strong.
Yeah.
That's a whole nother thing. But they were both out there talking because nobody just rolled over and died. Nobody just rolled over and just let it happen. Like, it is what it is. Y'all vote how you want to vote. I don't really care. They were both out there talking to everybody, making sure they're at least that they were able to pitch how they felt and what they, what their pitch was to each other.
Absolutely. So. Yeah. So we go to the live portion. Arissa's there and lets everybody know that it's jury.
It's jury.
Jury.
Because everybody. But fun fact. Everybody who's been voted out of this game has been men.
A man.
Up until this point.
I
up
love
until
it.
this.
I
Like
love it.
the women were like, you know what? No, if I gotta leave, you're not voting me out. I have to go. And
Literally.
then, like, I'm not gonna give you the satisfaction of voting me
No,
out. I just have to go.
no.
But
And
then, the quitter quit.
is that the result of several women this season saying there should be a women's alliance? Who knows? All I'm saying is that there are still 6 women in this game, and it makes me very happy.
And I'm just saying, it could happen if the women would just smarten up and do what they got to do. They could do it if they just smarten up and do what they got to
Can
do.
we have all the women align, except can we take out Claudia and can we put in Daniel C?
I mean, we could. I would
The
love
girls and the gays. That's what I
the
want to
girls
see.
and the gays. I would be
Yeah.
very happy with the girls and the gays.
And that's kind of been the vibe throughout a bunch of the season, minus, the Crown forming and doing their own thing. But yeah. So we also get the winners sponsored winning moment of last week. I didn't know this was happening, but Koozie won, so who cares?
Who cares?
She won $1,000 winner's gift card. Work, diva, get your fashions.
Exactly.
And Winners has some good fashion. Her
dress, her HOH outfit. Fire.
Santina's as well in the Invisible. I love that little the spaghetti strap pink dress. I was like, that's cute. Like that looks good on your skin. So I loved it. But yeah, so we get speeches. Dan literally just talks about how they should vote with their stomach because he does all the cooking. Sure. Claudia has a pretty generic speech and then ends it by saying, to the invisible HOH, you spent $50K to put me on the block this week. Now watch me walk off with it. Now, Claudia,
dear,
you were the definition of a pawn in this scenario. Why? And also, why?
Because if you actually think you were ever in any danger of going home this week, sitting next to Dan S., you are more delusional. You are more delusional than
Lucy LaDuca. I don't know.
You're more delusional than I am thinking I can climb Mount Everest.
Sure, yeah. Love it. Well,
because, baby girl, you were in no jeopardy. None whatsoever sitting there next to Dan S. None. And you know how much non-threat you were? You got no votes.
It was unanimous.
Send you home.
It was unanimous.
It was a unanimous vote to send Dan to jury first.
Yeah.
Am I sad about DJ Dan going home? Not really.
No.
Because DJ Dan ain't gave me nothing.
I was going to say, for the fact that he won, 2 comps this season? He's still he really honestly, and I don't mean this in any sort of disrespectful way, because I feel like he's probably a lovely person. He felt like such a non-factor on this season. And so I was like, oh, okay, bye, Dan.
He was so generic.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
As a player.
His game was very purple in this game. Very purple, as my friend Brooke likes to say. Very, very purple. Yeah. Like, nothing about him is memorable. Nothing. The only thing that he did that would probably stand out to me is him fighting with Santina. And really, that was because Ty started the drama. But, he was very bland, very boring. Even his little thing with Shania was kind of lame. Like, they didn't even showcase it. Like, they didn't even show any of it. It was like, this week was the first week we saw that they were that close. It was just like, very boring. And she didn't even vote for you to stay. Like, she didn't even give you a sympathy vote for you to stay. You're boring. I'm sorry, DJ Dan. I'm sure outside of this game, you're a lovely person, a wonderful human being. But in this game, you are bland. You offered nothing. You won a comp or two and still don't have anything to remember you by. It's just like, good for you for beating the block that one time, but now you gotta go.
Bye. Bye.
Bye, sir.
They end this episode with the start of the next HOH comp. We finally have our endurance comp for the season, and it is called Get a Grip. So you have to stand on little buoys and hold on. And the last person left standing wins HOH. I mean, it's a pretty generic endurance comp. They like to do these like holding on to things endurance comps on Canada. They don't really do a wall.
No wall. No. I mean, I like the wall. I would like something else though. I miss endurance competitions like the pressure cooker.
Yeah.
Like, I want something. It's not going to be too stringy. Like, oh my gosh, I have to hold on and grip and hold on and all that stuff and rain falling. Something that's going to test my mental endurance wise is something I would rather have, because that takes a lot of mental thought to stand in one place and hold on to this button and just stand there and just stand there, because after a while you're like, I'm bored.
Literally.
I have to pee.
That hard.
And I'm hungry.
I'm like, well, because I assume that they probably like, once you go on like lockdown for the eviction show, you probably like can't consume beverages or food. I would assume. I don't know how that works specifically, but I would be like, Big Brother, I have to go pee. Like, can I do that before the comp?
Right. I would pee before the comp. I would go during the commercial. Like, I gotta pee right now.
I mean, I'll piss myself for an HOH. I don't mind. I don't want to, but I will.
I don't want to, but I will. But I probably, look, if it was a long endurance comp that I plan on staying up there for a while, I'm gonna piss myself because
absolutely,
I have to pee every 5 minutes.
Same. Literally same. Like, really, that's why I drank so much water.
Yeah, it doesn't really matter what the comp is. If I'm going to be there for a long period of time, I'm probably going to use the bathroom myself. So, yeah.
So
it is what it is.
Well, that was week 4. Yeah. Mind you, we are in the middle of week 5, so we will be back with our regularly scheduled Saturday uploads for BBCAN information. Again, like we said, life has just been lifing recently, so we've been a little all over the place, but we're going to be back to a much more consistent schedule, hopefully with guests. I'm trying to get a couple so we can talk to other people. I love talking to you, Lana, don't get me wrong, but the more opinions means we can fight more. Yeah. And you and I don't tend to fight on opinions very often.
Not often.
No. But with that, do we want to talk about the spoilers for this week or just save it for our week 5 video?
It's digital dailies. We have digital daily spoilers, so we can talk about a little. If you don't want to be spoiled, then this is where we'll say good night and goodbye, and follow us on Twitter on the cup_reality, and like, subscribe, and share, and do all the things. Hit that bell so you will know when we post our videos. But if you and follow the merch, get your merch, period. And so if you don't like spoilers, bye. We'll give you a minute. Okay, bye.
3, 2, 1.
Yep. I'm daily spoilers.
I'm so sad.
So okay, we know what's happening this week.
Yeah. So we'll give
give everything. We'll just do digital daily spoilers. Just the digital dailies. We won't talk about the who we think is gonna go home, but
Okay, sure.
we'll just give up what happened.
The stats. Here's
Yes.
what's happened.
Period.
We know the HOH, the initial noms, the veto winner, and the final noms.
Yes.
So we've found out from the digital dailies that Ty won HOH. And I'm really not surprised at all.
Not with what the HOH was. I'm not surprised.
No. I don't remember who was like the runner-up in the comp. I haven't watched this evening's video or this evening's episode either. Just as a fair warning, it was well, that makes a lot of sense actually. So the final three were Claudia, Hope, and Ty.
Not surprised.
And Ty won with 5 hours and 8 minutes. So I thought, I definitely thought Claudia was in contention for this.
Mm-hmm.
I figured Hope would be as well. Mm-hmm. So, yeah. Also, apparently, Kuzi, there was like they did the thing like what they did with Buzzkilled, where like the next person to drop gets something. And so they did it where the next person to drop gets 5,000 Wendy's points. Oh. And I guess Kuzi dropped early to get the 5,000 Wendy's points. So
look, if I knew I wasn't going to win this, I would have dropped too. There's no way I'm staying up.
Well, and Kuzi doesn't need to win this.
She doesn't need to win this.
I don't think there's anyone in the house right now that would put Kuzi on the block.
Not right now.
This moment.
Yeah, not right now. Well, I think
maybe as a renom. Maybe as a I don't know.
Maybe as a renom.
I feel like Renee would put up Santina and Ty.
Maybe.
Because Santina caused all the drama and she wants to target Ty. So that probably was what it would be. But yeah, so Ty wins the HOH. We know that his original nominees were Hope and Renee. He's talked very openly about wanting to target Renee. Mm-hmm. So that's what he did. I don't think we know all of the veto players, but we do know that Shania won the POV.
She was house guest choice.
Was she?
Yeah, she was house guest choice by Ty, and Ty picked Shania to play. That was something everybody was like, why would you pick Shania when you know Shania is the only person who could win? Well, who would use the veto on Renee if she won?
Was Claudia? Did Claudia play?
No.
Oh, then I'm even more confused. Because if Claudia had already been chosen, I understand, I guess, the Shania pick. But
I don't think Claudia played. I'm not sure, but I don't think Claudia played. Very interesting.
Okay. Well, I'm happy for Shania winning a comp. That's fantastic. Good for her. Cool. I like to see people that don't win comps win a comp. Sure. So you know what? Good for you. Good for you, gal. And we know that Shania did use the power of veto on Renee. Mm-hmm. Nothing about that is surprising whatsoever.
Even though Ty told her not to.
Even though Ty told her not to.
Test her to see if she was loyal to him or to Renee. And she was like, I'm not listening to what you're saying.
Good.
Is what it is.
I mean, good, I guess, because Ty nominates Jonathan in her place, meaning that we are either going to be losing Hope or Jonathan, and the crown will be broken.
The crown is down a number. Yeah. But we also see in the digital dailies that Ms. Kuzi is playing this game and thinking very smartly because the crown is tilting and breaking because they're losing somebody. But she is trying to put somebody in the place of whoever's going to go with Santina. because Santina would have been a nominee for Ty,
Oh
but
yeah, I forgot to mention that.
Canada
Yeah,
saved Santina.
yeah. So
from the-
Santina won the Bel Air Direct eviction
Mhm.
insurance, which
I'm not mad at.
fine with it.
And she just
Worked.
needed it. And she needed
Yeah.
it.
Because I think
And-
otherwise it would have been Santina Renee.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. But that's what's happening with the spoilers. We're not going to give you our personal thoughts of what we think is going to happen because we'll save that for the next video.
I'm
But
sad regardless.
either way it goes, I'm very sad because I was very happy with the crown being very whatever. But that's what happened with the digital dailies.
Yep.
We will be back Friday to record this next week, and we'll have our
And
videos
it'll be
up on
uploaded Saturday.
We'll have it dropped to you on Saturday, and we'll talk all about this week 5 in Big Brother Canada. And like we told everybody else, if you stuck around, you know what to do. Like, share, subscribe, blah, blah, blah. Follow us on Twitter. Follow me and Logan on Twitter if you just want to. My Twitter activity has not been as great as it used to be, but
mine has neither.
But so you can still follow me. I'm there. I'm around. And
I exist on the platform that is twitter.com. So
and follow our come get some of my merch, our mug. I left it in the room, but you know what it looks like. You see that logo in the corner? Put that on a mug. That's what it looks like.
Yep.
But we're gonna have other stuff. And then, that's it. We're good, right?
Yeah. So thank you so much for joining us. We'll be back with our regularly scheduled Saturday uploads of BBCAN. And until then, someone is always watching. I keep forgetting that that's how we close Big Brother videos, and we haven't done it at all this season. So I'm happy I finally remembered.
Well, good, because I never remember.
Goodbye now. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Goodbye.
Also, Arissa looked iconic this week.
Arissa's always iconic, period. The red